topic also, the role of mental health well-being during pandemic. That's the topic that we are going to discuss today. And we have great joy to welcome all to this Insight in-depth platform. And this happens to be the 49th Insight in-depth program. And we are uploading all these recorded videos in YouTube as well. And I have great joy to welcome all of you on behalf of our Dr. K.Y. Benedict sir, the principal, and the college research wing. Warm welcome, everyone. It would be a great honor if you send the poster and the link to your colleagues and friends so that they will also benefit. This is a brilliant program, and welcome to this auspicious program and to a brilliant brainstorming ideas, eye-opening ideas. Warm welcome, everyone. And this is coordinated by the research scholars. Over to you, research scholars.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for finding time and joining in for today's webinar. On behalf of Mar Theophilus Training College, I, Akanksha Prajapati, research scholar, would like to extend a warm welcome to Dr. K.Y. Benedict sir, Principal Mar Theophilus Training College, our distinguished guest for today's session, Dr. Pratiksha Rajani ma'am, Research Coordinator, Dr. Joju John sir, honorable dignitaries, teachers, mentors, and dear participants. To the 49th Insight in-depth Invited Talk series organized by the research wing of Mar Theophilus Training College. Now let us begin the today's session by seeking blessings from the Almighty God with a prayer song. Now, I would like to invite Mrs. Mika Suraj Koshi for the welcome address.
Thank you, Akamsha. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Respected Principal Dr. K.Y. Benedict, distinguished Speaker of the Day, Dr. Pradiksha Rajani, our Research Coordinator, Dr. Joju John, respected teachers of the college, and all those who have joined us from other esteemed institutions, fellow research scholars, and dear teacher trainees. Welcome everyone to another enlightening session of the Insight In-Depth Talk series hosted by Martiophilus Training College, Trivandrum. This is the 49th talk of the series, and today we have Dr. Pradiksha Rajani with her insights on the role of mental health well-being during pandemic. With a thankful heart, I welcome Dr. K.Y. Benedict, principal of our college, for his unceasing support, guidance, and great leadership. A hearty welcome to you, sir, to this online talk series. I am excited to welcome our speaker for the day, Dr. Pradiksha Rajani, a psychotherapist and CEO of Minecraft India. Today, she will be dealing with the topic role of mental health well-being during the pandemic. Ma'am, we are happy to have you at the Insight In-Depth Talk series. On behalf of everyone, I extend a warm welcome to you, dear ma'am. A warm welcome to Dr. Joju John, the Research Coordinator of Martiophilus Training College. We are thankful to you, sir, for your kind suggestions, timely corrections, and constant motivation. Finally, I extend a hearty welcome to once again to all those who have joined here for the wonderful session. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
I'm thankful to Insight in that MTTC.
Ma'am, excuse me, ma'am. 1 second, ma'am. So one more formalities before your talk, ma'am. Please wait for a couple of minutes.
Thank you,
Yeah,
ma'am.
sure.
Dear participants, the distinguished guest for today's session is Dr. Pratiksha Rajani, ma'am, psychotherapist, CEO, Minecraft India. Our guest speaker would be reflecting her views on the topic role of mental health well-being during pandemic. Let us now know more about our resource person, and for that I would like to invite Mrs. Priya UV to introduce the guest. Priya, are you there?
Priya, are you there, Priya?
I think
Okay.
her.
Hello, Priya, are you there? Sorry, she might be having some connection problems. Then I would give some brief ideas about our eminent resource person today. Our resource person is a real gem of a person, and she's really very socially committed, and she's a great psychotherapist, helping plenty of people overcoming their psychological problems and challenges. And she's an outstanding resource person, and she's working in collaboration with Jayan Nambudiri sir, and they are giving practical tips and solutions to psychological problems, and they are helping plenty of people overcome their psychological challenges and mental blocks and mind fog. And both of them together are organizing plenty of programs around India and outside India, and they are continuously helping professional students, engineers, doctors as well, continuously monitoring the growth of professionals in different professional educational institutions. And she's very busy as a resource person, and she has found time to spend time with us. Ma'am, warm welcome, and we are really delighted that you are sharing this platform today and sharing your ideas. Now, Akamshka, carry on.
Thanks, sir. Before I invite our distinguished guest speaker for the session, I would like to remind few instructions for our participants. to be followed for the smooth conduct of the webinar, and I humbly request your cooperation. Kindly mute your microphones and do not share your screen. Kindly pin our resource person to view the presentation. And please type your queries in the chat box below. The link for the feedback form will be provided in the chat box only after the discussion gets over. Dear participants, you can also view the recorded video of today's session on our official YouTube channel, MTTC Nalanchira. And you can also join our WhatsApp groups for further notifications, link for which will be shared in the chat box below. Now, I request Dr. Pratiksha Rajani ma'am to share her thoughts with the participants. The platform is yours, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Akanksha. And really, I'm really very happy that Insight in that MTTC research wing provided me this platform to share my views on psychological well-being. Once again, I'm thankful to Dr. Jojo and Principal Sir for providing me and inviting me on such a big platform and sharing my views on mental well-being during this pandemic. As such, this is one of my favorite topic which has touched my heart, because from the lockdown period, I had been working with the government authorities and for counseling the quarantine people, counseling the persons, those who were affected, positive COVID-19 positive patients, those who were there, I used to counsel them even. And apart from that, so all the people those who are connected with, I used to counsel all of them. And this particular topic is very near and dear to my heart. Like normally mental health is of utmost important, which we know less. But during this pandemic, the people came to know, they were much aware about their mental health issues and how this pandemic shaped their mental health. From the way they were living the normal life, going into lockdown, and then to again get back to the regular routine, get back to the new form of life. So this is very important and very close to my heart, and I would like to share this topic with you. I would like to put some insights on it. So once again, I'm thankful, and let us start. So what do you mean by that? First, mental health is utmost important. As I told you that there is no health without mental health. And apart from this, it is the most important thing which we need to understand. Basically, we just follow on all kind of physical health issues, maybe headache or a migraine or stomach pain or this or that. But we need to understand that physical form of pain or aches is somewhere connected with mental health. So I can say that there is no physical health without mental health. So mental health is utmost important. And what are basic needs? What would you consider if a person being healthy? Sound sleep, good food, and adequate water. These are the basic needs of healthy being, right? So what are the basic needs of mental health being? Next slide, please. So during this pandemic, I have noticed common emotional and behavioral reactions. Let us study that. What does it mean? That generally this pandemic has affected all the different people in different ways. As I told you earlier, there was a different effect and different issues for the persons who had tested COVID-19 positive, the mental health of the person who were residing nearby, the affected people, or the family of the affected person, their mental health features were different. Apart from this, those person who has never ever stayed home, and normal people, those who were not affected, neither the family member was affected, but their mental health issues and problems were different during this pandemic, because they were not habituated to stay at home. They have to stay home full day, and all the people, all the family members staying together 24/7 for so long. Even this situation affected the mental health. So it affected different people at different level. First was that anxiety and worry about uncertain future. Nobody was aware. Anxiety attacks were there as nobody was aware that when this pandemic is going to end, or when this lockdown is going to end, or when we will have our new beginning, when we will have our new normal. So nobody was aware about it. So they were definitely, they were very curious to know what is going to happen next. Apart from this, people were afraid of contamination. If the person, the neighbor residing by our side was affected by COVID-19 pandemic or was tested positive, we all know how the other people have treated them. During the time when I used to make a call and I used to talk to them, they used to say that our close friends or the neighbors whom we are definitely in contact for daily basis, we just sit, we just chit chat, we just talk. They are behaving with us like untouchables. The pandemic, it's not a problem. Lockdown is not a problem. But this behavior hurts us. That we did not expect them to behave with us like this, right? So why these people they did so? It was a fear of contamination. Apart from hypochondrial fear regarding cough, sore throat, fever. Anybody who is having cough, sore throat, they will try to contact different doctors. They were afraid that they are not the person who are carrying the coronavirus with them, right? Anger and irritability regarding irresponsible behavior in the society. As I told you that many of the complaints I've heard that the people, those whom we were known or they were very close to us, they started behaving in very weird way. So this is what it hurts, right? Undue attention to unsustainable facts in news and social media. During pandemic, it was a hype created on media as well as social media. And as such, we all know what WhatsApp University contains, right? So people were afraid, people were tired, people were uncertain, and they were not knowing what is to be done because in previous many years, they haven't faced any such a situation. Neither the father has seen any such situation, neither the grandfather, neither the son, right? So it was very difficult for everybody to digest this, right? And many a times it has happened that irresistible urge to touch mouth and face. They were afraid of touching their mouth and face, continuously washing their hands. Not a sanitization was necessary, using sanitizer and all those stuff. But when anything comes to over, it is also going to affect you in a reverse way, right? So these were the common emotional and behavior reactions which were marked during this pandemic, right? So next slide, please. Now, as I told you that mental health during pandemic was different on all the different categories. Now, the mental health of the person who was affected by coronavirus, COVID-19, who was COVID-19 positive, what was his thought or her thought during this pandemic period? First and foremost thing is he or she was afraid of fear and avoidance of reporting. They were not ready to go and say that, yes, I am not well, I am not keeping well, my temperature is going so and so, please go for the test. Please take my test. The RT-PCR or which one? Sorry, I forgot the name. They were not ready to go in the laboratories for checking and test. Why? Because they were afraid they might get isolated.
Antigen test, ma'am. Antigen test, ma'am.
Yeah, antigen test. Sorry, I have the habit of forgetting the date. Thank you so much for reminding me. So they were not ready to go to the laboratory for the checkups. They were afraid of being alone, being isolated. Apart from this, undue guilt on having indulgent behavior leading to infection. Now, for example, if one of the family member is going out for purchasing the necessary items of regular day-to-day needs, right? Maybe milk or vegetables or something like that. And by XYZ reason, if the person going out is affected with this positive, he's tested positive, then he or she had the guilt feeling that because of me, my family member may get affected, or my family member were also affected. So the guilt feeling was there with that person. Even he or she was not sure whether because of that particular person only they were affected, or there was any other reason. So this uncertainty led to many threats and many lack of confidence amongst the people, those who were going out for some daily needs work. Anxiety and panic about worst possible outcome. For example, in a family member, having six members in the family, grandfather, grandmother, father, mother, son, and daughter. If any one person is affected, then they were not exactly knowing how does it is going to how does it is going to take, how does long it is going to stay with that, how much time it is required for the person to recover, what will be our life after that. So lots of uncertainty was there. Worry about safety of well-being of family, and the person who was affected, he was worried about, as I told you, that he was worried about the well-being of the family. Now, this was the emotional and behavior reactions seen for the person, those who were suffering from COVID-19 positive, right, or the virus. Now, what were the thought process for the quarantine and suspected cases? Those people who were quarantined, what was their outcome? They felt bored. They felt lonely. They felt that they are left alone. Nobody is there for them. The society has left them alone. Their family members have left them alone. Their friends have left them alone. So this was the main thing. And boring, they cannot go out, they cannot do any activity. So basically boredom was there. And yeah, I would like to add on just now, maybe later, if I don't remember, that the person who were quarantined, we were not supposed to touch them. We were not supposed to meet them, right? But we could have been close to them through our phone calls, through video calls, through WhatsApp message, like that, right? So first and foremost, the reaction was boredom and loneliness, fear about health of family members. The one person in the family is quarantined, right? He was worrying about the other family members in the society, that what they all will be doing. Hope they don't have this. How they will stay, how long I have to stay alone here, how long I will be isolated, right? So guilt of being a source person of infection or possible infection. They might have that guilt with them, that because of me they got infected. Maybe even he is not sure that whether he himself is the main reason or there are some other reasons, because we never know. Till this day, we don't know how we get affected, right? Because of whom we get that infection. Guilt of not being able to perform duty assigned role in crucial times. Now, sometimes it happened that, for example, that as a psychotherapist, I was assigned the role to counsel in this all type of people, right? Maybe positive, or maybe quarantine people, or corona warriors who were serving during this pandemic, right? And if I could not answer one call there, I would have think that, oh, I need to answer that call, I am on duty, or I have not performed my duty well, right? So this kind of guilt feeling was also there among the people. Next slide. Common. Now, see, this, whatever I said, it was for the common persons, those who were simply staying at home during lockdown, right? But what about corona warriors? What about the health workers? What about the police force? What about the nurses, right? Who were on toes 24/7. They were assigned, I literally remember they were assigned 3 shifts. 8 hour, one shift. Now you calculate. They could not go home. for many days. So even the, two other health workers and policemen, even their mental health issues were there, but they were a bit different from those of common people, right? So health workers, those who were working, they had a mental, they were suffering from anxiety about magnitude of cases and ill-equipped working environment. We used to call all the health workers, that is primary healthcare centers workers, we used to call them. And if we were in the city, for example, Rajkot city, if it is there, or Ahmedabad city is there, in city area, if we are calling them, they will be well equipped with the all kind of equipments, say mask or gloves or a shield or whatever like that. At the same time, if we called any primary healthcare worker in the remote areas, they were at least not provided with, or it was taking time. The delivery was taking time if to get provided with this gloves and mask and face shield and sanitizer and all those stuff. Right, so they were worried about that. With this inefficient logistic, how we are going to work, right? Anxiety about individual role and competition, training for the same, how they are going to perform. Duty was assigned non-stop, people were working non-stop, and it is not compulsory, or it was compulsory for them to work, but it is not necessary that this, with the same efficacy, we can perform till late or till last. So the competition level was also there among them, and even they were worried about it, right? They have to attend the training, they were given the trainings, so they have to attend that. Non-stop the work was going on, anytime the meeting was being called. So all such kind of work was there. So they were burnout due to long working hours, critically ill patient and deaths. The worst condition was of this nurses and doctors, those who were serving in this pandemic. No doubt everybody suffered a lot, but if any emotional person is there, they will be just simply seeing dead bodies around. They will be waiting because they know that the person who is in front of me don't know how much time he's going to survive, right? So it was very critical condition, and they were burnt out because non-stop work was there. And as such, this pandemic, as I told you, that we had never ever seen even. So what to work and how to work, even it was a big question. No doubt our government did a fabulous work, but everything was on trial and error basis. So burnout, stress was there, sense of failure, frustration, poor self-care, blaming, irritability, giving up, etc. These all things were there. They could not take care of their home. Many WhatsApp videos or many videos you might have seen, many female or many mothers could not go home just because they were serving in this pandemic, right? So even they were afraid that they might get infected because they were amongst the infectious person. It was not easy to wear PPE kit for so long. At least we cannot wear also. So undue worry about something bad happening, exaggerated startle, anxiety, nightmares. Nightmares were the worst part. One day when I was counseling and I was just making a call, I received one call that, madam, we are working non-stop for 22 to 23 hours. Meanwhile, if we get time, we sleep on the place where the duty has been assigned. Might be on the road, policeman was there, might be on the road or wherever it is. And it is very difficult. Even if I sleep, I can hear ambulance passing. Nothing is there, but it was kind of nightmares. They were afraid that much. Everywhere they can see dead bodies. Very worst condition was there. So this was the condition on the health worker, right? Now, what is to be done? Condition for positive cases was different. The family whose person was affected from the positive, who was affected positive, it was different. The person whose neighbors were affected by the COVID-19 pandemic and the whole family with this one, or their condition was also different. Health worker condition was different. Policeman condition was also different. But the main thing was that everybody's mental health was deteriorating day by day. So what can be done? What can be the ABC of mental well-being? First and foremost thing is that we often forget the well-known quote written anywhere or we read anywhere. This too shall pass. We have only started creating that this is going to last longer. There won't be the normal days as we used to be. Now the world has changed. No. We need to understand this spiritually and we need to understand mentally. This situation is not going to last long. Maybe a year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 year. Right? One fine day, everything will fall at its own place and everything is going to be normal. Got it? So first we need to understand that and we need to remember that this too shall pass. Right? Secondary, that see, people were isolated and isolation was necessary to stop the contamination. Right? So what we did as a person, or what general public did as a person, that we started isolating them mentally even. Physical touch was not required. Physical seeing one by one was not required. But at least on a phone call, we could have said that don't worry, everything is going to be fine. I'm there with you. Only this small sentence can lead to the positivity in the person who is suffering from pandemic. Right? So what we did, we means general public, which is, this is what I think I have made phone calls to more than 4,000 people. Exactly, I don't remember, but it has different categories, like as I told you, that positive, COVID-19 positive people, then other family members, and then there's health workers, media people, and then policemen. Many of them we used to make a call. So many of them told us also that don't worry, we are there with you. Whatever help required, whatever help we can do from our end, we will be there to help you out. Many of them, they said that, Madam, we just wanted to hear this, that there is somebody to take care of us. Rest of the thing we will manage. There is somebody to look after. There is somebody who is noticing we are working. Only this much was necessary. Right? So, for example, if the neighbor of the person residing by your apartment or your home is suffering from pandemic, maybe he or she is isolated, then definitely you cannot go there. But at least we can share these things with them. It may give them a real good and happy feeling. Then don't worry, I'll be there with you. Any requirement is there, I'll take care of your family members even. Don't you worry that. We were not supposed to meet physically, but thanks to this virtual world, as because of that, I am in front of you. Right? So this could have been done. Okay, this was the time to look for ourselves. This was a time to change ourselves. So what all can be done? So spiritually, socially, we can think what are the good ways. Financially also, you can think that, okay, this time these things has happened. How I can get up from this. Right? Next slide, please. Acknowledge feeling and share. Great satisfaction comes from sharing with peace. I think I don't remember the sharing with others. We need to acknowledge the people. We need to be thankful to the people. That as I was affected, you took good care of my family members. I'm really very thankful to you. We can spread the positivity. Or in spite of that, most of us, what we did, this many cases recorded, this many things, the person residing in this society affected, this, all the negativity. Somebody, many of the people, they ask me that, ma'am, why aren't you afraid of this? I said, what is there to be afraid of? What is there to be worried of? It has come, it will go. Maybe it has some time. So let us let the pandemic have its own flow, because it is not going to stay permanent. Yeah, it is very difficult for us to digest the things as we have not seen the lockdown. We have not seen the roads blanks, those who were definitely and totally busy roads. It is very difficult for us to see those roads empty. But it is for the time being. It is temporary. It is not permanent. Right? So what can be done? First and foremost thing is that we need to stop spreading the humors. We need to spread the positivity. That, yeah, this is the condition. This is the thing. This is the thing. We are not saying that simply just flatter on. This is the fact. But we will definitely overcome this fact. We will definitely fight for this. Okay. Adherence to hand hygiene and social distancing also, it's very much important. Right? We need to care of all the guidelines provided by our government. We need to take care of that. Next, please. Now, the main question was children were at home, parents were at home. It was the best time to spend quality time with the children. You can indulge kids in the activity as per their age. Primary level kids are there. You can just ask them to clean the shelf. You can just teach them to do that. Clean their cupboards, their wardrobes, arrange the shelf. Elderly children are there in home. You can just take their help in the gardening or cooking or any household chores. You can just ask them to help you out. Best part is that you can spend quality time with that. Apart from your electronic gadgets, apart from newspaper, apart from TV. You can just share your feelings with your children. Your failures you can share with your children. Your hard work, your struggle days you can share with your children. They will understand. They are smart enough to understand. Then along with that, we should not expect that they will do the same. But yeah, we can just simply share. This was my condition when I was so and so years old. You are lucky enough that you are free like this. It was the best time to bond yourself with your children and with your family member. Right? Next slide. Balanced diet, very much important. In fact, it was good that, see, everything has its pros and cons. But what I feel is that during the pandemic, restaurants were not open. So people try a hell lot of varieties from YouTube. They prepared everything at home and they ate homemade cooked food. I don't know whether in your place it was like that or not, but here itself, where I am residing, every day everybody will keep the status that today we prepared this dish, we prepared that dish, we did this, we did that, and like that. So they started taking at least homemade food and they started eating healthy, which was very much necessary. So it was very. Now, apart from this, we can be the role model for our children. We can teach them different kind of skills. Yeah, COVID resulted in overeating too. Because definitely if you are at home, what will you do? Definitely you will eat. Right? But it was the best thing as it was homemade and home cooked food. Apart from all the preservatives and stale food available in hotels. Right? So this was the best time. Now what we can do is breaking the chain of rumors. It was the most important thing which we all should have done. We all might have done. But on the contrary, we added in the chain of rumors. Non-stop government was trying to tell you, government was trying to explain you that keeps distance, this, do this thing, do that thing. Most of them have followed also, but apart from that, we should have stopped. We should have stopped and break the chain of rumors. Right? Now, there were the issues regarding the people, those who are working from home. Work from home doesn't mean that you work for whole 16 hours or whole 18 hours. It was very much necessary to work from home, but with specific hours. Apart from that, it was very much necessary, and many of them have done also to balance their leisure as well as their work from home criteria. It was real good, right? Next slide, please. Communicate with empathy and allow expression of feelings. The person during this time, we need to communicate with empathy. We should understand the people from their point of view also. As I told you that this was the best time to let go all the grudges amongst the family members, might be within husband, wife, maybe with maybe grandchildren, grandparents. This was the best time to overcome all the doubts and to have a clear communication with empathy, right? Next slide. Cultivate hobbies and routines to tide through tough times. Very much necessary. Any hobby which you like. If you like to dance, it was not possible for you to join dance class. Many channels and many such videos are available with which you can learn the dance, right? So whatever hobby, it was the best time to cultivate your hobby till this date. Still, you can spare some half an hour for yourself, for your hobby. It will give you relaxation. It will give you a fulfillment, mindfulness. Got it? Next. Cautious approach towards spread of infection. As we all know, that we need to understand that how it has been spread, and as such we all are aware. Now the another stage is that only what I can say is that apart from taking precautionary measures, most of us have taken the second dose of vaccine also. But in spite of that, we should always try to follow the guidelines laid down by the government. Next slide. Chat and e-socialize for continued connect with people. As I told you that during this pandemic, I gone through one article. I was going through one article during this pandemic. It showed that, I don't know, might be in Second World War or any one pandemic, the lockdown lasted for 2 years. They were not able to go out. They were not able to talk. No media, no TV. So it was very difficult for them even. Right? So in that case, we are lucky enough that we have everything in our hand. We have online movies, we have all this data packs, we have this Wi-Fi system, we have TVs, we have radio and all the stuff. So all the entertainment, basic entertainment source was there. It was in our hand and we should have made maximum use of it. It was very easy for you to connect through any social media to any of the people or family members residing abroad or somewhere else, right? Next slide. Now, what can be done for healthcare workers? Prepare in advance, whatever the training were given to them, they could have prepared in advance. And clarity of role, what was their role actually? Basically, what are the exact responsibility given to them and are they fulfilling that responsibility? It is of utmost important. Regular risk assessment and critical incident debriefing. Whatever critical cases are there, then we need to debrief that. Effective buddy system to ventilate and express. Buddy system. As I told you that we used to call health workers and they were simply sharing what all they want. Some used to talk about their family members. Some of them used to talk about how he or she used to live previously. So they were sharing this. and we used to hear them or listen them without any queries. They were simply saying, after talking, they'll say, oh, I've said you a lot, ma'am. You called us for this. And we said, no. Whatever the feelings were there, it was good that you vented out, right? So, effective body system to ventilate and express, take healthy breakfast and healthy diet, healthy food is very much necessary. Look for signs of burnout and stress for early intervention. Whenever you feel that now it is very difficult for you to cope up with everything, take a deep breath, take a rest, hold for a while. It doesn't mean that you are, if you hold for a while, it doesn't mean that you are stopping from doing your duty. It is simply you are taking the rest to perform your duty well, right? Cultivate cautious calmness, avoid or limit use of caffeine and alcohol, keep an eye on each other. It was very much necessary. Next, protect yourself. It is not selfish efforts to take breaks, as I told you. We need to take break for the survival. First and foremost thing is, if we want to make others happy, first and foremost thing is we have to be happy. If we are happy, we are going to make others happy. So I always say that if you want to whatever sessions we conduct or to whomsoever interns are there, I always used to say that if you want people to help them for their mental well-being, first and foremost thing is that you should be fit physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. If not, you won't be able to heal someone. It will affect you also, right? So need to of survivor are not more important than of your well-being. First and foremost thing is your safety first, your health first. If you are healthy, mentally, spiritually, physically, then you can make others happy too, right? Working all the time doesn't mean that it's your best contribution. Go for qualitative work apart from quantitative work. There are other people who can help. So you can go for that also. You can take help from professionals also in case of any such thing required. Next slide. So yeah, I would like to thank you for this and I would like to invite any queries. But whatever I always tell is that be healthy physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Then and then it would be easy for you to help others once you help yourself. So this was the causes, the effects of corona pandemic on mental health of different people at various stage. And I have met many of them, as I told you. So if any queries from your side or any questions, you can just ask. Webinar to list. So yes, any queries or any questions, anyone?
Thank you so much, ma'am. I would like to thank you for such a wonderful presentation with such a wonderful PPT. And I hope all the participants have been benefited. Now the forum is open for discussion. Participants are requested to type their questions or queries in the chat box, or you may directly ask the question to the resource person by unmuting your mics. Thank you.
Let me check in the chat box. Any question is there or not?
May I read the questions, ma'am?
Yeah, yes, please. Yes, please. That would be easier for me.
Thank you. Okay, I'll read the questions. Dr. K.Y. Bendick sir has asked, has COVID resulted in overeating too?
Yes, definitely. COVID has resulted in overeating as the people were free. They do not have their work schedule, even the working woman. So those who are free, and it is very basic state that when you are free, you will feel hungry. So it has resulted in overeating also. But as I told you, the best part was that it was homemade cooked food. So it would not harm you as the overeating in the hotels or any restaurants do. So that was the thing. Yeah, it has resulted into overeating also.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I'm Dr. Asha Ekega. Can I share my experience related to this?
Yes, please.
Yeah, during the lockdown, when all the shops and restaurants were closed, as you said, all of us tried cooking various recipes. So every day we had a evening snack time where I used to try various recipes. And if you buy, for example, if you buy a banana fry from outside, you may have one piece or maximum two pieces. But when you make it in your home, it's so delicious, and you start munching and you finish up eating a plate. And
Yeah.
that has definitely contributed to putting on my weight. Not just my personal weight, my whole family. So that was a system which we all followed for at least 1 or 2 months till the time the restaurants started opening up. So as Benedict has said, COVID has in a way contributed to weight gain.
Yeah, exactly. It has also resulted in weight gain, as I told you, that we do not have any work. See, for example, at 9 o'clock, if I have to go to my workplace, and if 6 o'clock I'm coming, I will be having a limited time for breakfast, for lunch, and the work schedule was free. Now, what is the schedule? Nothing. What I have to do? Nothing. Simply at home. So whenever the person is free from all those stuff, he will definitely turn over to eating. And yeah, that is good that home cooked food is really delicious. And even the wives used to enjoy cooking. And even they learned a lot. So it was, yes, real good. And it's okay. That is what I feel personally. So yes, I think few more questions are there in the chat box. I think somebody asked. Let me check.
Yes, ma'am, I'll read it.
Yeah.
What are the coping strategies adopted by police personnel during pandemic?
Okay. Coping strategies adopted by a police person during pandemic is first and foremost thing was that shifting of duties, and what we did is that even they went for stress management and anxiety management workshops. One group of people, they were working, the other group of people was attending the workshop, or they were trying to go for that spiritual awareness or like that, because they were the persons who were terribly, terribly sandwiched, we can say, between the government, between the higher authorities, between the political people, between the work. So many of them, they were very much stressed because they were assigned duties for 3 shift, right? So at here, I'm aware about this. Here, what we did that we used to conduct the anxiety management sessions for them, webinars for them, seminars for them. Along with that, we used to ask them to go for meditation at least for 10 to 15 minutes by providing them some music or something like that. So this can be adopted as a coping skills. And the higher authorities, the best part it was the higher authorities motivated the other police personnel, those who were on duty. As I told you that we made a phone calls for acknowledgement to their duty. Even this added to them stress relief thing. So I hope I have made myself clear. And can I go to next question?
Yes, ma'am. Shija KV has asked, how can we improve the level of social interaction among kids during the pandemic?
Okay. Social interaction with the kids is very much necessary, and it was very much necessary during the pandemic. How can we improve? First and foremost thing is that we need to understand that during the regular normal days, they had a fixed schedule of going to school, going to classes, meeting the friends, doing many of the activities, going to dance class or something like that, right? Now, everything has been stopped. Now the child is frustrated. The kid is frustrated, but even, he or she is not aware that he or she is frustrated. At the same time, the best thing you can do is that go for storytelling as per the age group. You can involve kids for storytelling. You can involve with some fine motor, gross motor skills for kids especially. And generally, as a parent, what we do is that we start comparing our children generally with others. On the contrary, and we always tell that when I was of your age, I used to do this. When I was of your age, I used to do it. But what we can do is that we can discuss our failures with them. We can discuss our struggling days with them. If please, whatever I am saying, please check the age group of the children and then you can discuss with them. Be very friendly with them. You can definitely sit with them. Just hold the hand of a child and sit for a while without communicating for 5 minutes. Next day, you will hear the things which you have never heard before. What are his feelings? So it was very much necessary qualitative time to spend with the children, and they were missing their friends. So we need to be their friends as well. We need to give them the standard of living and the few rules and regulations, not more exactly, but by this we can interact with them. We need to listen to them. What are they feeling? For minor thing, for example, that continuously that sanitizers were used, okay, for washing, for sanitizing our hand, it was very much necessary. Simply, what do you think about this as per the age group? So interaction is very much necessary, and involve them in the discussion of many household discussion is going on in the family members, any other serious discussion is going on, you can involve them as per the age group. So this way you can make the kids interactive, and best way is storytelling. So yes, I hope I made myself clear. Any other further questions?
Ma'am, no further questions are there. I kindly request all the participants to ask
I
the
think
question.
two
Excuse
important.
me. Yes, madam.
Yes, please.
Hello. Excuse me. I'm Dr. Wasif. Thank you very much, Dr. Pratiksha. Really, the ideas are very informative and very important. I have just, I want to clarify something. You see, all of us are affected with the corona pandemic, all the people all over the world. And we have to take care of our mental health, to be the people in, this is a good idea to keep the people in mental health. But the problem that most of the people all over the world face now is that many jobs are lost. So they lost their income. They need food. Children do not go to school. They are sitting at home. There is expenditures, fees, everything is needed. But the thing which is not available now is the money. The people do not have the money. Now, how can we, if you have, just to clarify the idea, how can we solve this problem to keep our minds in good health without having money? How can we improve our situation, the mental health? How can we improve to keep our minds working and thinking of improving, to sit with the children at home, to tell them stories, to joining them, to give them games. All these are very excellent ideas. But do you think that the person who do not have money can think?
Yes.
The mind good? Now how can we improve such a situation? How can we solve such a problem which all the people suffer, most of the people suffer from such a problem? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And there is one more good question for you. Yeah, it is a real good question, that how can we improve the mental health when we have a financial problem? First and foremost thing is that if you face the financial problem, what you all need to do is that you need to think over that this is the case and right now what we have to do. You can lower down the standard of living. If you eat 2 sabjis per day and you can just go for 1 sabji and roti and something like that, right? And secondary, that there were people, those who were helping for basic needs. At this time, first and foremost thing, what you have to think is that either develop your skill, and secondary, you need to think that from where you can get your basic needs satisfied. That is food, water, and shelter, right? So the person who is suffering from that, then he or she has to think that from where to provide basic needs. That would be the first question, right? Secondary, that if the job is lost, if the things are not there, whatever the saving is there, it has been spent off, right? It has been spent. Now what I have to do is that what other skills I have to develop in a way that it can help me during this such kind of pandemic also. Many of them, simply example I'm giving, that many people, those who were there, who were owning their shop on, for example, garment shop was there. After this pandemic, they started one general stores also, right? So we need to understand that. And if the question is that financial condition is not appropriate, and if you are facing a problem, the first and foremost thing you need to know is that how will you be able to fulfill your and your family's basic needs, that is food, water, and shelter. Unless and until these things are available, you can find yourself lucky. Whatever next is there, that skills can be developed, that can be done. So this is what it can be really helpful for that. And along with that, government also, in India, government also did many such things. No, they provided ration to poor people, and many such things that it was provided by the government also. And secondary, that if anybody is not sound personally in such kind of pandemic, right, the first and foremost thing to think is that their financial calculation was wrong. They should have some safety amount with them, which can at least help their family to survive with basic needs, I am saying, right? So they need to correct themselves first, that where did they went wrong, and now how they will cope up with that. This is what I can just say to help you out. I hope it is appropriate.
Thank you very much. Very kind of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Vasaf sir, I have a response to your question.
Yes, sir.
So that this is a time in which many of the rich countries must open their all the resources for the well-being of the poor countries.
There should be. Yes.
Without the segregation from borders or culture or religion,
Yes,
or
sure,
caste or creed.
There
This
should
is a
be.
time so that there must be a consensus from the international organizations.
There
Instead
should
of
be.
thinking,
I think
instead of
there is.
thinking about how we can sell our vaccine that is being indigenously developed to many other nations who are suffering from COVID pandemic. How much price could be hiked and how much money could be earned. That should not be the aim of these pharma companies and the multinational companies working with the support of various national and international agencies and local governments. There must be a consensus must happen all around the world immediately after the COVID-19. Maybe for example 2022 or maybe 2023 should be celebrated as a sabbatical year or something like that, in which all the debts of the poor countries must be written off by the rich countries. Otherwise, there is no existence for the values that we are speaking about, the international brotherhood or humanity or whatever may be the eternal values that we teach in our schools. So there must be that kind of what we call it as a kind of
cooperation.
A kind of international understanding must be developed. A kind of certain kind of actions must be done. There must be a generation of ideas and campaigning for that kind of ideas is very, very essential from each part of the world in order to make an economic balance that will give a new meaning for the human life on this earth and will help us write off everything for the poor countries, starting from a clean slate of zero balance of debt or whatever may be the other financial difficulties. So if we refer the biblical message of Jubilee year, an international kind of Jubilee year may be celebrated or practiced in 2023. By that time, we may completely conquer over the pandemic so that a new world order could be developed. Otherwise, as Basov sir told, that the poor countries become poor and poor again, the rich become rich and rich. Even after that COVID pandemic, some kind of social void maybe.
Sure, sir. Sure, you are right. I think the best solution is cooperation between the people, the rich and poor countries, since all of us are human beings. So all of us have the right to live, have the right to live in a good and respectable life. I think this is the best solution, cooperation between all people, all countries all over the world. You are right, sir.
Yes, please.
I'm Dr. Joju here, ma'am. Thank you very much for your eye-opening address. From this talk, what I learned is that the world has faced a great challenge, and the most vulnerable group is the school children, little children, and we need to do a lot of work for reassuring them that COVID is not the end; it is just a bend. And children have great fear and anxiety about these things because they do not know the facts, and parents and teachers have to interact with them, and we need to identify their feeling about COVID and all these pandemic related issues, and we need to reassure them that we will overcome this also, and humans have been overcoming such challenges in the history, and this is not the end, and we will overcome it. And this challenge, this problem, this threat would enable the humans to climb to the next level of sociability and consciousness. So we need to empower our children a lot. That's what I feel about this. Now, thank you very much, ma'am, for your brilliant address and timely one too, and we have enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Even I'm thankful for allowing me to share my views on that, and I'm thankful to all the participants for listening me undoubtedly. So thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And dear friends, for the kind notice of all the participants, next program is going to be the 50th one. 50th one, we are reaching half century, and the next program is by an international resource person, exceptional person, that is none but our Wasaf sir, and we would be discussing higher level of communication and effectiveness in communication. That's a very important topic as well, and the organizers would be offering you more beautiful and outstanding certificates as well, special 50th Insight in-depth certificate as well. And we would like all of you to join ahead of time next week, and because we are giving more publicity next week, and we would like all the participants to join in the beginning itself and continue till the end in the next program. That's because that's a very special program. Bendik sir, would you like to add something, sir? Please, sir.
Yes, this is going to be a remarkable moment in the history of this initiative by the Martha Fellows Training College Research Center. We are extremely delightful to invite each and every one of you and your near and dear one to cross the 250 capacity of our platform next week to mark as a jubilant occasion of our 50th program of 50th session of Insight in Depth. So research scholars, the students, academicians, kindly spread the message that so that we may have an online celebration. Hope that we will release certain kind of 50th issue celebration videos also, 1 or 2 minutes videos also we may be releasing as part of this one. We are far reaching the National Assessment and Accreditation Council peer team visit to Mar Theophilus Training College on 14th and 15th of December. I expect and invite each and everyone's prayer and earnest participation in that initiative also. Thank you very much for the time, valuable time that you have spent. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope your knowledge has been expanded by this webinar. We appreciate your being with us today. Now, I would like to invite Mrs. Gina Praveen for the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Akamsha. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Joy is the simplest form of gratitude. Respected principal, esteemed resource person, coordinator, research supervisors, teachers, and dear you one and all. Today we have achieved more. It was not because of you or me. We together made it possible. Let me coin these feelings of thankfulness, remembering each and every one. On behalf of the entire team members, first of all, I would like to thank our beloved principal, Dr. K.Y. Benedict sir. He is the backbone of magnifying team of MTTC, who is not only being a great scholar, but also had taken at most interest to conduct this webinar for us. It is only his effort that we could have new horizons of knowledge. Dear sir, thank you for your hard work and kindness. I extend my sincere thanks from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, dear sir. Today, we are blessed with an eminent personality who is well versed in different areas of knowledge. Dr. Pradiksha Rajani ma'am. She is a well-known psychotherapist and mind trainer. She is also known for her counseling support towards COVID patients to gain mental health. As you have mentioned, there is no health without mental health. It's very true for the current scenario. Ma'am, it was very good to know your contribution to fight the pandemic and help the patients to gather mental strength. Ma'am, your talk was very interesting and mind-blowing. We had an opportunity to hear your thoughts, and this knowledge will be very useful for us. On behalf of all who gathered here, I extend my heartfelt thanks, dear ma'am. Thank you, dear ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you
Next,
so much. Thank you so much.
next, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our beloved research coordinator, Dr. Joji Jones sir, for his unending support, motivation, and coordination. Thank you, dear sir. Every research scholars are gifted with skillful research guides. It is their help and guidance make our presentation a worthy one. Now I remember all research guides and I thank them all for their coordination and guidance in this webinar. Finally, my sincere thanks goes to all my dear friends. I hope you all had a wonderful time to this webinar. Let us together work for the realization of all the valuable knowledge we had. Apart from my friends, I cordially thank all dear participants and all who gathered in this virtual platform. Thank you all. Have a wonderful time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, I would like everyone to stand for the national anthem.
जनगणमन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you, everyone.